Hi guys, Rose here with the Cackling Moon. This is going to be a client's animal guide reading. With the reading, I'm going to be working with two different decks. I will be working with the Wild Unknown and the Animal Spirit Oracle deck. So let's go down to the reading table. Okay, so for this reading, we are going to focus on the 5 elements. We're going to be focusing on the main guide, your body, your mind, your heart, and your soul. So earth, fire, water, air, and then of course the main guide, which I also like to think of as your spirit, kind of like the spirit guide, but it's in animal form. So, and I apologize for all of the wires. We have a lot of wires going on here. Okay, so there's no specific question for the reading. We're just going to kind of see what comes up. The way that I do the full-size animal guide reading is I will pull an animal card for each of the 5 keys that we're talking about, and then I like to do about three tarot cards to talk about more advice, more detail, that kind of thing. I have the Animal Spirit Guidebook here because I don't have all of their meanings memorized, and I like to kind of give a little reading about each one and just kind of give you insight based on the guidebook. It gives you some really nice, insightful messages. Okay, let's start since the tarot card came out. So let's start with your main guide. So this is currently the energies around you right now. This is your main guide coming forward. And this is the wolf. So you receive the wolf. And sorry about this. The 3 of Swords, the Fool, the 7 of Wands. I see this as enlightenment. I see this as power, regaining your power and your confidence after a troubling time with the 3 of Swords, okay? 3 of Swords often tells me of just moments of struggle, okay? So with that, we have the Wolf card coming forward, and he is of the earth element. So let's see what the wolf wants to say. So the wolf says he's the guardian of family and tribe, and his activism and ritual. The wolf's mission is to uphold the well-being and longevity of the pack. Healthy wolf energy expresses itself through activism, mentorship, humanitarian efforts, or teaching religious or political studies. The wolf gets into trouble when it assumes every member of the tribe must follow suit. This includes children walking in their parents' footsteps. Although it will surely be uncomfortable at first, practicing tolerance helps balance out agitated wolf energy. Contemplate the following: embrace all, exclude none. So this is kind of saying like you want to make sure that you are including everybody into the circle. Just because people have differences of opinion doesn't mean that they don't belong, and that kind of thing. So I really feel like with this 3 of Swords energy, it's kind of like when you are in a moment of struggle, when you are struggling with either your feelings or your connections with people. I feel like this is also on a mental level because it is the sword suit. When people aren't honest with you, when people aren't really giving you the whole story regarding certain situations, I really feel like you have the tendency to kind of block them out. You don't want to include them in your circle anymore. And that's completely understandable. But not everybody follows the same kind of mindset. Not everyone follows the same kind of traits in living and in tradition wise. And I really feel like that's just saying opening your heart up a little bit more. Stop being so constricted. Open your heart up, being a little bit open-minded and forgiving, I feel. When someone's hurt you, it's really hard for you to kind of allow yourself to open up and give them another chance, so to speak. And not everyone deserves second chances. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying everyone does, but I'm just saying sometimes people deserve to, you have to look at a situation from a different angle. So I really feel like this is out of balance for you. So it says when it's out of balance, you could be judgmental and dominating. So I feel like you tend to get people to see your side of things. You want people to side with you. You want, people to run in your pack, not other people's. And, when you're in the outs with someone special to you, I feel like you want people to gravitate towards your feelings and your side of the story as opposed to them. And so I feel like that's kind of like where you are struggling with the most. And the Wolf card to come up for you is giving you that guidance of opening your heart and having understanding. We all have like our tribe and our following. We all have those people who just get it. And then of course there's people on the outside of our circles that don't. So I do feel like that's very apparent with you. Now, I really feel like with this Three of Swords card, if this is you in the outs with somebody in your life, someone that you're close with, this Fool card in the middle at the core is telling you that you're definitely looking towards other outlets. You're definitely looking to expand your horizons. And then we have the Seven of Wands here, which is, to me, this is like you being liberated, okay? I feel like this situation of you being constricted, you're definitely feeling liberated in the situation. You're feeling like your heart's beginning to open. The constriction here that's taking place, you're starting to unravel what is holding you, binding you together, freeing your heart, so to speak, and your emotions. So that's what I see here with the Seven of Wands. So your main guide to come forward as the Wolf, looking to the Wolf I see him as a protector. He's like that friend or that person that that will always stand behind you, that will always have your back no matter what. That's like Wolf energy. They're very devoted creatures, very dedicated and very family oriented. So with whatever you're going through with, if you are currently in the outs with somebody or you're struggling with your connection, try to stay away from, trying to pull other people in to see your point of view. A lot of times I do feel like it's the need for you to kind of open your heart a little bit. And hearing that person out and trying to understand the position that they are in, okay? So now let's talk about your body. So this is earth energy, your body. And the animal guide coming up for your body is the swan. And the swan is, I feel like this is this water energy? I think that's the water sign. I could be wrong. So we have the swan with strength, the Empress, and death. Wow, those are very powerful cards for the body. So lots of changes taking place with your physicality. So let's see what the swan has to say. And yes, the swan is of the water energy in this deck. So the swan, this stands for effortless, creativity, sensitive, mystic, elegant, and power. The swan represents heightened creativity. In Hindu mythology, the goddess Saraswati, the embodiment of language, creativity, and artistry, rides on the back of this graceful creature. The swan is ready to take us there, to the fluid realm of writing, creating, and reflecting. This potent and healing energy is not to be taken for granted or taken lightly. When the swan card appears, your soul is calling for attention, for solo time. An inner voice is waiting to be heard, an inner vision likely to be revealed. So you're definitely you're feeling a lot of power because we have Strength card, we have Empress. So it's a lot of feminine energy coming through for your body. And with your body is telling you it needs silent time. It needs solo time to kind of go through this transition. So I feel like the Swan card coming through, we see that the swan is reflected. You see how there's two swans? It's a reflection of you, and I feel like that's what you're currently going through with the body. Your body is going through a moment of reflection. It's like you've been looking at yourself for what it is. You've been looking at yourself for what's going on. Maybe you've been making changes, or you've been wanting to make changes physically. Maybe you've been wanting to change your eating habits and things like that. So you've been physically noticing your body wanting to go through a change. Very feminine energy with the Empress in the core. And she's filled with creation and abundance. As you can see with the tree, the leaves on the tree are glowing in pink. To me, that's just symbolic of really letting your everything on the outside come through. Everything's shining. You're ready to step foot, be ignited, be illuminated. The Strength card to me is telling me lots of power within this change that you're going through. Whether it is a legit physical change or it's something from within that's actually shining outward, where people are going to start noticing you from the outside, and it's going to reflect what's inside, because I do see this reflection here as that. And then we have the Death card, and I feel like this is symbolic for dying to your old self and the renewal of the new version of yourself. So I do feel like the Death card is very important here. It's revealing that I feel like the end of this year, you're going to really say goodbye to the old version of you. I feel like you've gone through a lot of transitions from the very beginning of this year into now. And as we creep into January, I feel like you're going to really be able to say goodbye to that old version of you and hello to this new vibrant self. So your body is definitely going through a transition. It's going through a lot of change. It has already gone through change, but I feel like it's more so now. And January, you're really going to flutter your feathers and really show off this new version of yourself and be prideful and proud of it, okay? So let's check out the mind, which I designate as fire, because I feel like the mind is one of our most powerful attributes. So the mind, you have the Bear, another Earth card. So we have the Bear, the Hermit, Daughter of Cups, and the Ten of Wands. So right off the bat, what I could see taking place here with the mind is a lot of clutter, a lot of like different thoughts. I feel like these wands are kind of interconnected, so a lot of the things that you've been thinking about or stress, it's all interconnected. It's connected with one another. I feel like the Hermit card is showing that the way that you do retreat when it comes down to your mind is inward. You do a lot of soul searching. You do a lot of inner work with yourself. And the Daughter of Cups here in the core is telling me that all you want to do is just be proudful. You want to be proud. You want to just have everybody know you for who you are, your true colors. And I do feel like the rainbow here underneath the duck is just kind of revealing your true colors coming outward. Because that's really what the main focus here is in the image, is color. And the colors, are very, very few in the deck. So I do feel like when they come out, they do mean a lot. And I almost see like with the red, you see the red first around the duck, and then it's like bleeding, right? I feel like that's what it looks like. The image is like the duck is bleeding. Bleeding what though? Bleeding its true colors. So the true you coming out. So let's check out the Bear message. What does the Bear have to say for you as far as your mind goes? So the Bear is walking from spiritual slumber, and you're beginning anew. So when you're beginning anew, this is the process of newness, starting over. After a long winter, the bear arises from deep slumber. At first, the movement and effort is difficult, but the bear knows it's time to awaken and move toward the dawning light. The bear card represents an individual on the cusp of new directions and personal transformation. The initial weeks and months of this spiritual quest may feel tricky, cumbersome, and full of obstacles. But you have no choice, bear. Winter wanes, the warmth of spring emerges, and the journey of your transformation begins. So another transformation message. And I feel like when your body is going through its transition, so is your mind. When you're physically changing, when you're physically becoming stronger, or a new version of who you want to be, your mind is going to also go follow suit with that, because your mentality is going to change. So I do feel like that's definitely what's coming forward here. And I do see that with all of this chaos in the mind. There's a lot of clutter you got to sweep through. It's a 10 card, which is saying that's the end of that cycle. So you're coming towards the end of all of this chaos, the end of this tanglement, and you're ready to start anew. So it's like the cycle is ending and then it's starting up right here with the Hermit. Realizing who you are. Inner work. And then the Daughter of Cups is letting your true colors out. Really powerful message there as far as your mind goes. And I do see your mind reflecting a lot of what your body is saying. The changes your body is going through physically. Let's talk about the heart, or the water element. So your heart is being guided by the shark, which is very fitting because the shark is of the water energy. And I also want to make note, so far your animal guides that have been coming forward have either been earth or water energies. So you're very grounded and you're very nurturing. You're very filled with the need to create. So a very creative energy to you. Very interesting that those two elements of the animals are only around you right now. So you have the 8 of Swords, which is a beautiful card. You have the 5 of Wands and the 4 of Swords. You've definitely had your fair share of struggle as far as the heart goes. The 5 of Wands tells me that there's a lot of misunderstanding with other people. A lot of people just don't get it. The cocoon here is definitely taking on that message that I've been delivering to you of transformation. I feel like you've already started the transformation. And the swords that are sticking upwards, trying to kind of almost hinder that butterfly from coming out of its cocoon, really makes me feel like there's a lot of opinion. People have a lot of differences of opinion about you, and it hurts you. The same thing with the 4 of Swords. You have this gentle little lamb, right, who's ignited with, it looks like a sunbeam coming out of its head, if you could see that. I feel like that's so symbolic of your gentle nature, your pure nature. And again, you have the swords that are kind of heading downward as if trying to attack. So I do feel like relationship-wise, your connection with human beings in general, lots of misunderstanding on that part. So let's see what the Shark Guide has to say for you regarding your heart. Shark. Directness, exposure, revealing true nature and desire. So yeah, the shark is coming forward for you to tell you to be brave, to brave all of this, pretty much it's bullshit. Braving the bullshit of people attacking you for no reason, people having their opinions of you for no reason. The shark is a very powerful creature. A lot of people fear him. So I feel like, to be honest, I feel like the lamb is you on the inside, but on your outer side, you have definitely had to grow thick skin to get through life, especially with these connections with people, these misunderstandings, these judgments. So the shark's message is, the shark is only dangerous when we don't acknowledge it. This card indicates that something big needs to be exposed. It's lurking in the depths and creating tension. Shark energy takes us over when we are hesitant to be honest, to be totally ourselves, or to say what we really want. If we may be tempting to continue pretending nothing is wrong, but when shark energy is at play, we feel it's present encircling us. So the shark is coming forward to you to tell you that there is something that you need to say. There is something that you need to reveal, to get out, whether it's to a single person or a whole collective energy. But something about you or something within you wants to come out. And the shark is acknowledging that and telling you it needs to come out as well. And then finally we have the soul, which is the air element. And the soul is being guided by the mouse, which is, again, earth energy. And you have the Ten of Swords, the Ace of Wands. Look at that vibrant exchange. We have such darkness with the Ten of Swords, so much pain. And then we have illumination here. And then you also have the Eight of Wands. Again, illumination. We have that power coming down, which I feel is so symbolic for your intuition, or something from a higher source is giving you a lot of power, is igniting within you inspiration. So the mouse is detail-oriented, small-minded, and nitpicky and nervous. The mouse has no innate desire to tend to the details. It often spends its days fixing, preparing, organizing, and scrutinizing. Unfortunately, a mouse personality doesn't notice when they've gone too far. Soon they begin to have a limited, fearful vision of life and try to control every detail. This can be quite painful experience for both the mouse and those around them. When mouse energy is at play, step back for a moment. It may be time to find a more purposeful project to delve into, one that is worthy of your exacting eye. So the mouse energy is telling me your soul is hungry for change. Your soul is hungry for something to really focus on, and that is definitely what this Ace of Wands is coming out saying. So the mouse energy is saying you're a little bit skittish, you're a little bit unsure. You don't really know if this is the path for you, perhaps. And I feel like out of all of the elements we've talked about, the soul is probably the one that tells me that you're at odds with yourself. You have so much potential to be inspired and to do a lot. This is the card that is the brightest. And then on the other sides, you have such darkness, or you have unsureness or anxiety. You have that little speck of light coming down with inspiration, but how do you illuminate it? How do you make it grow and ignite within you? So I definitely feel like your spiritual journey is the path that you should put more focus and attention to. Your relationships, for sure. Your relationships, I feel like it's more heart-centered. It's more healing. It's more forgiveness. But I feel like as far as your spiritual journey goes, it's the weakest. So if I were to give you advice before we end the reading, I would say, find a passion within your spiritual journey and run with it. What inspires you? What makes you happy? What is it that you've always wanted to learn more about? How can you change this mouse energy to be something more powerful, like your other animal guides that have come through? And what exactly your main focus for your spiritual journey is, what illuminates you, what inspires you, what will start the spark and ignite everything else. So let's just pull a couple cards to answer that question. What is it? What is igniting you? What does your soul need? We have the Seven of Cups. We have the Five of Cups. And we have the Four of Wands. What is holding you back is definitely with this Five of Cups energy. It's somebody. It is the need for closure, probably from a previous relationship or a previous connection with someone that didn't go so well. Because the Five of Cups energy to me is like the grieving or just feeling sad or depressed. It's the depression. It could just be depression in general too. It doesn't have to be connected to a person. But that's what's holding you back. That's what's keeping you from making a choice, because you have the Seven of Cups here. And Seven of Cups is picking an opportunity and choosing one focus. Picking that one cup that you're going to drink out of to help you manifest so much more for yourself. And then you have the Four of Wands, which is telling me like, oh, there's a lot of illumination, but you want that one key focus in the center. And I feel like you're clogged over by perhaps the more darker moment, depression, negative memories, or this could also be the not receiving closure from a breakup or a connection with someone that didn't go so well. So I feel like when you make amends with this at the core, everything else is going to make more sense. And making a decision with that Seven of Cups is going to be easier for you. What you fear most, we have, your fear card. It's the Eight of Cups. So your fear card with what you fear the most is definitely breaking the shadow, to live in the shadow. We have that crazy looking mountain there that's ignited in the black. You have the cups that are broken at the bottom. This is definitely a connection with somebody that hurt you, something that didn't go so well. That is what's holding you back. That is what is not allowing you to really take on your journey with the soul. So you need to mend this. Mend the broken heart. Mend the feelings before you can move forward. That's probably why you're so unsure and anxious about yourself, and why the Mouse card is coming up for your soul. I feel like you doubt it. You feel like a victim. You're hiding, that kind of thing. So I hope that this reading gave you some insight. I hope it answered some questions. If you have questions for me, please do not hesitate to message me or send me an email. And anyone who's watching, this is the Animal Guide reading. It's the full-size version. Thank you so much for purchasing this reading with me, and I will see you guys soon. Bye, guys.